knowledge belongs to humanity and is the torch which helps to illuminate the world around us. We, the students of middle school, would like to invite you all to witness the knowledge and skill of our torchbearers through the Std future, where something incredible is waiting to be discovered.
Science is a treasure, seldom difficult to measure. Science is a boon. Its magic is carrying the man to moon. Science is a mystery, full of chemical history, solved by ultimate chemistry. Symbol of silence, factor of brilliance, science is the challenge of excellence.
Prayers outlive the lives of those who have uttered them. They outlive an age, outlive a generation, and can even outlive a world. The power of prayer is enriching and uplifting to hear our God speak.
Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour, asking for your help and blessings. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with the spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work. Help us complement each other in our mission of excellence. We ask that we would challenge each other to reach higher and farther, to be the best that we can be. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Galileo Galilei once said, "All truths are easy to understand once they are discovered, but the point is to discover them."
We have many talented students in each grade of our school. Today, in the Std Future Science Exhibition, our youthful middle school scientists with stunning skills will be showcasing their various experiments. With this note, I request our beloved Nandini Ma'am, Joint Secretary and Director of the school program, to inaugurate the event.
Good evening, dear parents and students. The National Science Day is celebrated on the 28th of February all over India, and we too at our schools celebrate it with great gusto and have been doing it for the past many years. The last 20 months of the pandemic have not dampened the spirits of our young, enthusiastic minds, and we are here with another science exhibition by the students of the middle school. Science promotes, or the learning of science promotes logical thinking, reasoning, and coming to realistic conclusions. And this is our aim when we encourage students to take part in projects, learning processes, and experiments in bringing about the science exhibition for this year. Hearty congratulations to all the students who I'm sure have put up a fantastic display of their activities that they have been working on in the past few months. Congratulations also to the parents who I'm sure have been more actively involved in the activities of their wards in the past 2 years. And special congratulations also to the teachers who have not given up on celebrating every event in the school with as much importance and enthusiasm as has been done in the past. Good luck, and I wish all of you all the best. Thank you.
Technology is the greatest of God's gifts after life. It is the mother of all civilizations, of arts and of sciences. It is magic even if you know how it is done. With this note, I welcome all of the participants of middle school.
Hey there, let me ask you a question. What comes to your mind when I say humans in space? Probably the space station or those futuristic looking satellites. Something you may know is that these satellites are very important to humans. TV signals, GPS, communication networks all rely on satellites, and it would be devastating if any of these got destroyed. So let me tell you for today's topic, space debris. It's a useless artificial object that orbits the Earth. Now that may not sound like much to be afraid of, but believe me, even if space debris the size of a football collides with another working satellite, it can set off a chain reaction, destroying even more satellites. This is known as the Kessler syndrome, and it is perfectly depicted in the movie Gravity. It is a scary scenario to imagine when no one can leave or enter the Earth safely. We definitely don't want the Kessler syndrome happening, and that's why our group will tell you how we can collect and remove space junk from our orbit to ensure safety for space traveling in future. Thank you. This is a 3D model of a satellite that collects and removes space junk from the Earth's orbit. It is made by Tanmay Deshmukh using Blender. It can move itself in any direction using ion thrusters. It uses the solar energy from the sun. It has two nets which can capture space debris up to 3 meters wide. After collecting some space junk, the satellite will now return to a space cleansing space station, from where the space junk will be launched into orbit for incineration.
Hi, my name is Ishan Bhalerao. Today, I'm going to talk about space debris. Space debris is a deformed artificial object in space, principally in the Earth's orbit, which no longer serve a useful function. These include derelict spacecrafts, non-functional spacecraft, and abandoned launch vehicles. In addition to derelict man-made objects left in orbit, other examples of space debris include fragments of their disintegrated erosion and collisions, or even paint flecks, solidified liquids expelled from spacecrafts, and unburned particles from solid.
Hello, my name is Mahi Rathod and my topic for today is Journey to the Space. Journey to the Space includes of three main aspects: preparation, execution and aftercare. Preparation: astronauts have to pass a psychological screening test before entering the Space Force. They are given 2.5 hours of physiotherapy training sessions before, after and during the space expedition. Physiotherapists also monitor them while they are at the ISS. They are given training for medical procedures before the mission. Astronauts and crew members should know how to operate the space station in case of any emergency. The space shuttle carries 3.8 pounds of food, including 1 pound packaging per astronaut. They get 3 meals plus snacks every day. Daily routine at ISS includes a work day from approximately 6 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time and 3 meals, 8 hours of sleep and 2.5 hours of workout every day. To maintain muscle strength while in the space, they need to practice core building exercises before, during and after the space expedition on Earth, which can include swimming, running, weight training or floor exercises. On returning to Earth, bone loss might not be corrected completely by rehabilitation. Without proper diet and exercise, astronauts tend to lose muscle mass in microgravity faster than what they would on Earth. Studies have shown that astronauts lose 20% of muscle mass in a space expedition of 5 to 11 days. Sensors of fires, which are a part of our vestibular system that controls balance, are thrown off often and causing the astronauts to lose balance. Lastly, I would like to conclude my presentation by a wonderful quote. Don't tell me sky is the limit when there are footsteps on moon. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ruhi Borkar, and today me and my group have made a project which is based on bone loss and restoration in astronauts. We also have made models and a poster to explain this better. Astronauts lose 1% to 2% of their bone mineral density every month on a long duration space flight like the ones planned for mission to Mars and beyond. Bone loss can be a serious problem. This loss may not trouble astronauts while they are in orbit, but upon returning to Earth, their weakened bones will be fragile and at increased risk of fractures.
Bone density is the measure of mineral content in the bone. The cause of loss of bone density is weightlessness. Weightlessness is the state of not being acted upon by gravity. This is faced by astronauts when they travel to space outside the Earth's gravitational pull. Bone loss only occurs in the load-bearing bones, that is, the lower half of the body, starting from the lower back to the lower limbs or the legs. Load bearing causes stress on the bones, and the amount of stress affects the production of cells that form new bones. These cells are called osteoblasts. In microgravity, bones do not bear the load of body weight, so the production of osteoblasts decreases. That results in an imbalance between the formation of new bone cells and the removal of old bone cells. More cells are removed than produced, so bone density decreases. Bone loss occurs in an weightless environment of space because bones no longer have to support the body against gravity. On Earth, gravity applies a constant mechanical load to the skeletal system that causes healthy bones to maintain a certain density so that they are able to support our body.
Astronauts have to exercise almost 2 hours a day on special exercise equipment to make their muscles work and stay healthy for the return to Earth. Some of the exercises that astronauts do in space are pedaling a stationary cycle and running on a treadmill, even weightlifting.
The treadmills are computerized and are different from the ones that we see in a gym. Astronauts have to be strapped into it using harnesses and bungee cords so that they wouldn't float away. The weightlifting machine is called ARED, meaning Advanced Resistive Exercise Device. Lifting weights, for instance, wouldn't do much because in the space, the dumbbells wouldn't weigh anything. This is why the ARED machine utilizes two canisters that create small vacuums that astronauts can pull against with a long bar. This allows them to do deadlifts, squats, bench presses, and more. Astronauts are also provided 1000 to 1200 milligrams of calcium every day.
Hello everybody, this is our model. This is the dome in which people will be staying on Mars. This is the artificial gravity centrifuge. It should be right below the dome. This is the part which artificial gravity will be generated. It is made up of ice cream sticks and connected to a motor, and the motor's wiring is here. So if I connect it with the battery, it will start rotating. When it rotates, it generates a centripetal force, and because it is in an enclosed environment, the centripetal force is not able to escape, and therefore it starts attracting the objects around it towards it, and then that is why it becomes into gravitational force. This is how artificial gravity is made. Thank you.
Hello teachers and friends. Today we will be telling you about artificial gravity. We got to know that Elon Musk is going to be sending people on Mars by 2026. Then we thought of problems which people will be facing while they will be living on Mars. First, we'll have to keep ourselves away from all kinds of radiations on Mars. Second, we'll have to keep ourselves stocked on rockets and rocket fuels in order to go back to Earth in case of an emergency. We also thought about the human muscles and bones, because in low gravity the muscles and bones become weaker because we don't use the bones and muscles as such. we use in high gravity. That's why the body thinks these are unnecessary items and starts giving them less nutrition. Because of this, the bones and muscles become weaker. When people will return on Earth after staying on long periods on Mars, then they will find it very difficult to move around because their muscles and bones will have become very weak.
What is the solution for this? The solution for this is that we have to make an artificial gravity under the lands which we are civilizing on. This will make an same amount of gravity which is on Earth. This will help humans by not affecting their bones or muscles.
What is artificial gravity? Artificial gravity is the gravity which is created by humans. This is usually done by using a force which has all the properties of gravity, usually through rotation. The device which generates artificial gravity is called artificial gravity centrifugal. This machine rotates very fast and it generates centripetal force in an enclosed environment. Because the centripetal force is not able to escape, it starts attracting the objects around it towards it, and eventually it turns into gravity. This is how artificial gravity is formed.
Thank you.
The moon has always fascinated mankind. In ancient times, man thought that moon is a mysterious object in the sky as it grows in full size and then reduces to disappearance. When man got civilized and advanced in science, he started to understand everything in space. ISRO's Chandrayaan-2 is an expression of our curiosity to learn and explore the moon. On 7th September 2019, when the whole world was watching over our prowess in space technology, Vikram lander that carried Pragyan rover crash-landed on the moon's south pole. When everyone assumed that India's dream was over, a techie from Chennai pointed to a satellite picture showing rover tracks dated January 4, 2020 from the place where the lander crash-landed on the moon. Though Pragyan lost its contact with the moon orbiter, recalling that it's powered by an artificial intelligence, if someone asked me, is Pragyan still alive, I'm inclined to say maybe. Only time and Pragyan can tell us the answer.
A plastic bottle, a cardboard strip, a 9-volt battery, a buzzer, a few wires, an iron nail and a metal washer.
When garbage is poured in the bottle, it will slowly fill up until the nail completing the circuit.
And I will be explaining how our model will help astronauts to dispose waste. This garbage collector will also help in reducing the space taken when garbage is disposed. This smart garbage collector will indicate astronauts on the ship that the dustbin is full using a buzzer. Then, cold liquid gases like liquid nitrogen can be useful to solidify these wastes, which can later be turned to powder. This powder takes less space and can be useful for farmers to manure their fields. This model is a prototype which can be modified further.
I would like to express a special thanks of gratitude towards our teacher, Miss Nidhi Jain, and our school who gave us this golden opportunity to do this wonderful project.
Hello everyone, this is a water level indicator. It helps to indicate water level in rivers, lakes, in water tanks, so to prevent floods and to save electricity in future on Mars in the space. First, we need to put water in the bowl. So the wires connected to their respective LEDs will start glowing one by one. First is green, then is orange, again there is orange, and the last one is red. So as you can see, all of the LEDs are glowing. That means the tank is full or the river is full of water. Thank you.
Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Aman Gadekar from the Standard 8C in Vikhe Patil Memorial School. Today I have my science project GPS on Mars. As you have always known, our world has always looked for alternative planets for living, as an extinction event may end all life on Earth at any time. So to ensure the continuation of life after this event, we must find a second home. Mars is our best option as it is closer to us than any other planet may be. As technology advances, we must build cities, structures, houses, apartments, etc. We must find a way to navigate around it. For a small amount of time, we must use maps, but we will not be able to see every corner of our new planet, and it would be inaccurate and inconvenient. The only answer is GPS. GPS would allow us to navigate through the rough Martian terrain with ease and could be used for providing internet connection as well. This is an example of what a future Martian city may look like, so that the GPS can navigate through it. The city would have glass domes to protect the people inside from the toxic and hazardous atmosphere on Mars and provide oxygen for the people living inside. The city would be connected by tunnels to save people from the toxic atmosphere and provide oxygen. This GPS system would be extremely beneficial for mankind on Mars, as all our dependencies would be solved by this. Internet connection, the need to know places, the need to explore, all would be done by this. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Shubha Kulkarni and my project is about low-cost space technologies. SpaceX's most biggest achievement is that it has reduced many space activities by lowering the cost of launching. The goal of low-cost missions is to reduce risk and lower the cost of future major missions. By using this, we can help many space centers to achieve their goals by using low-cost space technologies. Thank you.
I'm Arushi. I'm Ovi. I am Shamini. I'm Anushka. I'm Kushi. When in the future we move to planet Mars, we need electricity for our daily use, charging phones, laptops, etc. Since setting up windmills will require a lot of money and time, there is an easy and a low-cost solution, that is
bicycle generator.
As Arushi said, windmills require a lot of time and money to set up. Taking in consideration the matter of rich and poor, this bicycle generator is a very easy and very useful solution for this matter. It helps generate electricity, simultaneously keeping a person fit and healthy.
8 simple steps required to build a bicycle generator. Step 1. Obtain a bicycle and remove its back tire. Step 2. Make a stand to elevate the bicycle off the ground. Step 3. Attach the drive belt along the back rim. Step 4. Attach the motor to the stand.
5. Place the diode in series with the battery and the motor. Step 6. Connect the battery to the diode. Step 7. Connect the battery LEDs to the inverter. Finally, step 8. Plug the appliance of your choice into the inverter.
The bicycle generator consists of the following parts: the bicycle, the stand, the drive belt, the motor, the diode, the battery, the inverter, and the device you want to plug it in. The person sitting on the bicycle moves the pedals move the back tire moves the drive belt and the motor is connected to the battery generates electricity, the electricity is transmitted to the device via the inverter. This is how the bicycle generator generates electricity.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Prachi and today I am going to tell you about the life cycle of a star. The life cycle of a star starts in a giant gas cloud, also known as the nebula. Here there are a lot of hydrogen atoms. When these hydrogen atoms come together, they form a protostar. Several protostars can be formed in one nebula. But what happens after that? The temperature of the protostar increases, but not enough for nuclear fusion, and that causes the Tauri phase. A star stays in the Tauri phase for about 100 million years. After that, the temperature of the star increases and causes nuclear fusion, where the hydrogen atoms fuse together to make helium atoms. That phase is called the main sequence star. After that, the star becomes a big giant of energy and helium atoms. Our sun is also in the red giant phase. But what happens after that? Smaller stars. When the nuclear fusion stops, smaller stars collapse because of the gravitational force and become white dwarfs. But bigger stars expand into supernovas, which again become black holes. Thank you.
Helium-3 is a useful energy source because it can be used to generate extensive amounts of energy. This is done through a process known as a fusion reaction. The abundant helium-3 on the moon needs to be mined and extracted before using it. There is about 1 million metric tons of helium-3 on the moon that has been deposited over time due to solar winds. Helium-3 can be used on Mars as to obtain energy, as solar energy will not work on Mars as there are frequent dust storms, which will make it impossible for solar panels to absorb the solar energy. Forms of energy like tidal energy also can't be used, as the water on Mars is in the form of ice sheets due to freezing temperatures, which range from -62 degrees Celsius to -40 degrees Celsius on Mars.
Friends, this is a model of a nuclear fusion reactor. Fusion creates energy just like a star. If you collide heated hydrogen atoms such as tritium and deuterium. This is done in a vacuum chamber using this vacuum pump to suck the air out. Extreme temperatures are achieved by supplying a current of 18,000 volts or even more. The creation of helium and neutrons is proof that fusion has occurred. Maintaining this plasma state using magnets creates heat energy. The heat is captured by cooling water, circulated through cooling towers. It produces steam which is pumped into the turbines. The kinetic energy is then passed to the generator, where it is converted into electricity. This is then transmitted to the substation for distribution.
This is my rover, this is the moon rover. Its name is program is from Chandrayaan 2, and this was gonna use for to search helium-3 deposits, and but this failed because the Vikram lander crashed and we did not have signal to communicate with it. And if we can take the helium-3 from the moon and heat it at 600 degrees Celsius, then we would get helium-3 which we can use for nuclear fusion to generate electricity. This is my rover, and these two are the cameras of the rover, and this is the solar panel which charges the rover to work, and this is the wheels.
Hello everyone, today I am going to tell you about my experience on Thinkercad where I made satellite. This was my first time in my life where I made a satellite on this app. First I learned how to use the command. In the command there were many options like grouping, aligning, using mirror images, increasing and decreasing the size of the objects. The YouTube video made it more easier to operate the app. When you know all the commands, it becomes very easy to use. Thank you.
In 2015, fresh leafy greens were on the menu for NASA's astronaut in the International Space Station. These plants were grown hydroponically on the ISS. In hydroponic farming, instead of using soil, the plants use nutrient solutions which are a mixture of water and concentrated minerals. Having zero gravity in space means that soil-based farming is not actually possible. Reasons for this include weight limitations, floating particles, and risk of growing germs. Hydroponic agriculture appears to be a perfect alternative for the above issues. An important aspect of hydroponic farming is its nutrient-based solution. It is a mixture of concentrated minerals which are essential for the plant's growth, such as dissolved minerals, nutrients, organics, and metals in the hydroponic solution. In hydroponic farming, the plants grow more prominently and faster.
Hello everyone, my name is Riya Joshi. My topic for Science Exhibition 2022 is Structure of Spacesuits. So let us start by understanding basically what is a spacesuit. A spacesuit is a garment worn to keep a human alive in the harsh environment of outer space, vacuum and temperature extremes. Spacesuits in space. So spacesuits helps astronauts in several ways in space. Spacewalking astronauts face a wide variety of temperatures. So the temperatures in the Earth orbit can be as cold as minus 250 degrees Fahrenheit, while as hot as 250 degrees. A spacesuit protects astronauts from those extreme temperatures. Spacesuits also supply oxygen to astronauts to breathe while they are in the vacuum of outer space. The suits contain water to drink while they are spacewalking. They protect astronauts from being injured from impacts of small bits of space dust. Spacesuits also protect astronauts from radiation in space. The suits even have visors to protect astronauts' eyes from bright sunlight. Now, some facts. Three major layers of textiles and flexible membranes with a total thickness of less than 1/10 of an inch protect the astronaut from space. Now, the future facts which may happen in the future are when an astronaut exploring Mars in 2055 puts on her suit for the 250th time, it will be as strong and smell as fresh as when it left the factory, and it will passively seal and hold the suit created with the robot rover accidentally runs into her. Isn't this amazing? Now, the structure of spacesuits. Here is a diagram which explains the structure of spacesuit. It has many layers. Some of them are, for example, the hard upper torso. For example, the hard upper torso covers the astronaut's chest, while the arm assembly covers the astronaut's arms connecting to the gloves. There are many such parts in the spacesuit. So, also here is a picture which gives a progression report of the spacesuits. These are some of the spacesuits from 1951, 1952, and so on till 2001. So this is how the structure of spacesuits is done. So this is how a spacesuit works. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Rishikesh from today
How do rovers work? Each rover is a solar-powered machine. Commands are received from Earth via the rover's high gain antenna. The commands are uplinked to the rover and become its master sequence for the day. These tasks that it will complete during the current Martian day known as Sol, as well as the part of the next. Why are rovers sent to Mars? First among the mission's scientific goals was to reach for and characterize a wide range of rocks and soils for clues to past water activity on Mars. The rovers are targeted to sites on opposite sides of Mars that looked like they were affected by liquid water in past. Some advantages of rovers. Mars rovers have several advantages over stationary landers. They examine more territory, they can be directed to interesting features, they can place themselves in sunny positions to weather winter months, and they can easily advance the knowledge of how to perform very remote robotic vehicle control. Disadvantages. Disadvantages of rovers compared to orbiters are the high chances of failure due to the landing and other risks, and that they are limited to a small area around a landing site, which itself is only approximately anticipated. Materials required for the model: PVC pipes, PVC elbows, hose clips, metal plates, robot wheels, 12-volt DC motor, 12-volt DC battery, multi-channel remote, wires, nuts and bolts.
Hello everyone, I am Rishikesh from 8B, and today I am going to show you the science experiment on how to lift an ice cube with a string. The materials required are here: an ice cube, a string and some salt. So what we want to do is take an ice cube and put the string on top of it. Now that the string is on top of it, we need to take some salt and put it on the string. Wait for a few seconds and then try and lift the string. As you can see that the ice cube can be lifted with the help of the string. This happens because When the salt falls on the ice, the freezing point of the ice lowers and the top layer of the ice is melted, but the ice below it is cold enough to refreeze the top layer, and thus the string gets stuck in between, and we can pull the ice cube with the help of the string. Thank you.
Gaganyaan is a crewed orbital spacecraft which is expected to carry 3 people into space for 7 days. India has potentially become the 4th country to send a man to space after the erstwhile USSR, the US and China. ISRO will deploy its biggest rocket, the Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle 3, the GSLV Mk3 from Sriharikota to send the Gaganyaan space capsule into orbit.
Myself, Tanisha Baheti. The Gaganyaan program is going to be a major national effort for our country. The overall program includes coordination, system engineering and implementation which is carried out by ISRO team. Further, the human-rated launch vehicle, crew escape system, orbital module and essential infrastructure will be realized by ISRO utilizing in the in-house expertise and with participation of industry, academy and national agencies.
Gaganyaan has a 2.9-ton service module. It is powered by liquid propellant engines. The crew module and service module together constitute 8.2 ton. The major technologies required for this program are human-rated launch vehicle, crew escape systems, habitable orbital module, life support system, crew selection and training and associated crew management activities.
Good morning, I'm Nihal Agrawal. I'm going to tell you the major collaborating partners for Gaganyaan, which include Indian Armed Forces, Defence Research Development Organization, Indian maritime agencies like Indian Navy, Indian Coast Guard, Shipping Corporation of India, National Institute of Ocean Technology, Indian Meteorological Department, CSIR labs, academic institutes, industry partners. After the success completion of Gaganyaan program, the next step will be the focus towards achieving capability for a sustained human presence in space.
Right here is the model of Gaganyaan satellite. This is the capsule. It can have 3 people in it, and it also has the scientific instruments such as battery and radio. This is the aluminium container and it is also known as the fuel source of the satellite. This is the motor of the satellite. These are the solar array panels and below are the thrusters.
Falcon 9 is a particularly reusable 2-stage to-orbit medium-lift launch vehicle designed and manufactured by SpaceX in the United States. The latest version of the first stage can return to Earth and be flown again multiple times. Both the first and second stages are powered by SpaceX Merlin engines, unlike most rockets in service which are expendable launch systems since the introduction of the full thrust version. Falcon 9 is particularly reusable with the first stage capable of re-entering the atmosphere and landing vertically after separating from the second stage. This feat was achieved for the first time on Flight 20 in December 2015.
Good morning, this is Vedang Gandhi from Ruby House Standard 8. The topic of our science exhibition is satellite communication. Satellite communication. What is satellite communication? Satellite communication is a method of transporting information from one place to another using a communication satellite in the orbit of Earth. Watching the English Premier League every weekend with our friends, we would not have been possible to watch it without satellite communication. Now I will tell you how many satellite communications are there on Earth. Communication satellites are used for television, telephone, radio, internet and military application. As of 1 January 2021, there are 2,224 communication satellites in Earth orbit. Thank you.
Hello, I am Tanvi Pabre from 8th A, and our topic is satellite communication. A communications satellite is an artificial satellite that relays and amplifies telecommunication signals via a transponder. It creates a communication channel between a source transmitter and a receiver at different locations on Earth. Satellites communicate by using radio waves to send signals to the antennas on the Earth. The antennas then capture those signals and process the information coming from those signals. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Uday Nikam and I am from 8B. So today I am going to tell you how satellite work. A satellite is basically a self-contained communication system with the ability to receive signal from Earth and to retransmit those signals back with this use of a transponder, an integrated receiver and a transmitter of radio signal. A satellite has to withstand a shock of being acceleration during launch up to the velocity of 2800 km an hour of a hostile space environment where it can subject to radiation and the extreme temperature for its projected operational life, which can last up to
SpaceX CEO Elon Musk's goal is to send humans to Mars by 2024, and NASA plans to launch astronauts there after the moon. In a new interview with inverse evolutionary biologist and Rice University professor Scott Solomon, thinks it's worth asking what will happen to Mars colonists in the long term as mutation starts to cascade through the gene pool.
Astronaut Scott Kelly, after returning from year in space, had 7% different DNA from his twin brother Mark Kelly. Several reported that when astronaut Scott Kelly returned from space, his DNA expression has changed by 7%. Now Scott's DNA may produce more or less mRNA.
The conclusion to this is that we can reduce exposure to radiation on Mars by using hydrogen-rich shielding such as polythene in the frequently occupied places, which can reduce the exposure to space radiation. Lightweight magnetic shields can also protect an astronaut from deadly radiation as they travel to Mars or beyond. As a result, there won't be any damage to the human DNA if exposure to radiation on Mars.
Hello, my name is Srijan Banerjee. I am from Standard 8A and my roll number is 5. Today I am going to talk about a Mars rover called Perseverance. I would like to thank my parents for helping me on this project, and I would also like to thank my teachers for giving me this opportunity. Perseverance, nicknamed Percy, is a car-sized Mars rover designed to explore the crater Jezero on Mars as part of NASA's Mars 2020 mission. It was manufactured by the Jet Propulsion Laboratory and launched on 30 July 2020. The confirmation that the rover successfully landed on Mars was received on 18 February 2021. Here you can see the picture of the rover named Perseverance.
Good morning teachers, this is Samruddhi Pawar from 8th B and my topic for the science fair is asteroids. So I chose this topic asteroids because I wanted to know more about the origin of our solar system. What are asteroids? Asteroids are the rocky metallic bodies which orbit Sun between Mars and Jupiter. Asteroids are the leftovers from the formation of our solar system about 4.6 billion years ago. So where are the asteroids actually found? Most of the asteroids are found in the main asteroid belt in the region between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. So what happens if an asteroid actually crashes our Earth? So when the asteroid crashes, the environmental effect impact earthquake, or if it hits water body, it will cause a tsunamis. So the most informative and the researching part for me was, can we stop asteroids from crashing our Earth? So the answer is yes. We can stop asteroids from crashing the Earth, and this possibility is done by NASA. NASA has launched a new test spacecraft for deflecting asteroids. The 10-month mission will cover 6.8 million miles and will actually stop an asteroid from coming and crashing our Earth. This project will save our Earth from any potentially destructive asteroids. Thank you.
Good morning teachers, I am Riya Chavan from 8D and I will be giving you some more information about the NASA DART mission. The US space agency NASA has launched the first of its kind mission named DART to change the path of an asteroid by intentionally crashing a spacecraft into it. DART stands for Double Asteroid Redirection Test. The $325 million DART mission was launched into the orbit on 24th November 2021 from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California atop a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. DART is now on its way to conduct a planetary defense test. This mission will use a kinetic impact technique to alter the orbit of an asteroid. Thank you.
Nuclear fusion as an energy source in space. Fusion powers the sun and stars as hydrogen atoms fuse together to form helium, and matter is converted into energy. Hydrogen heated to very high temperatures changes from a gas to a plasma in which the negatively charged electrons are separated from the positively charged atomic nuclei ions. It only takes place with certain types of atoms, which are deuterium, tritium, and helium. While solar power is much more commonly used, nuclear power can offer advantages in some areas. Solar cells, although efficient, can only supply energy to spacecraft in orbits where the solar flux is sufficiently high, such as low Earth orbit and interplanetary destinations close enough to the sun. Unlike solar cells, nuclear power systems function independently of sunlight, which is necessary for deep space exploration. Nuclear-based systems can have less mass than solar cells of equivalent power, allowing more compact spacecraft that are easier to orient and direct in space. However, it is very expensive. The cost of generating solar power ranges from $36 to $44 per megawatt hour, while onshore wind power comes in at $29 to $56 per megawatt hour. Nuclear energy costs between $112 and $189. We can't use this energy now as the energy released is far more than the energy produced. But in future, when the technology will improve and research will get better, it will be possible to make nuclear fusion power
much more cheaper and efficient.
Hello, I'm Aditya Rawat and I will explain you how can fusion energy be used in rockets as a source of energy. This model is an example of it. This is the nuclear fusion reactor where nuclear fusion will occur. The fusion energy generated in this reactor will go to the rocket engine via this wire. This wire will also convert the energy to electricity. This electricity will be used in the rocket engine to move the rocket. Unlike traditional rocket engines which are based on fuels, this rocket engine will be based on electricity. But there are some problems. One problem is that nowadays nuclear fusion energy generates lesser amount of energy than the energy that is used to generate it. Another problem is the cost of nuclear fusion reactors. But as Atharva said, in the future, nuclear energy will get more efficient, cheaper, and easier to use. Nuclear fusion energy can also be the future of mankind. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Anika Mendhi. I'm Ananya Kukate. I'm Tanisha Mantri. I'm Nisha Mitkai. And I'm Muktakshi Sagar. Our topic is fluid shift.
In this situation, their face gets giant and swollen, and they also have many brain disorders.
In space, the fluid shift in the upward body increases volume and there is pressure caused in the head. It swells in the retina, a critical part of the visual system. Astronauts develop change in eye and vision structure after a long duration space flight. It also causes round-faced puffiness to the astronauts. It also leads to loss of smell and taste.
Upon entering into microgravity, the hydrostatic pressure is abruptly reduced from the tissues of the body. The brain is surrounded by fluids. Without gravity, this fluid starts moving weirdly and it redistributes. The otolith is a substance found inside the inner ear and it helps the brain to receive information. It is highly affected by the fluid shift.
Microgravity is when things seem to be weightless. Microgravity is when the gravity is not strong. The most commonly known microgravity environment can be found in the International Space Station, ISS. NASA and the Russian Space Agency are studying the effects of fluids shift in space and how the adaptation to space flight affects changes in the vision. This research will help prepare for a human journey to Mars.
Astronauts have to exercise almost 2 hours a day on special exercise equipment to make their muscles work and stay healthy after they return to Earth. Exercises like walking and jogging helps to maintain our bones. It is necessary to take rest in this situation.
Thank you.
I am Devanshi from 8th B and today we are going to talk about stars. In the night the stars look so wonderful, but have you ever wondered how they were born? And did you know that stars eventually die? They are not a living thing, but they do have life cycles, making stars critical to life as we know it. Early in the history of universe, before the stars and planets existed, giant clouds of hydrogen and helium began to form. Slowly these clouds collected enough mass for their own gravity to form. In other words, you can say that they form stars. It's when a new star is born, its core is exposed to be very strong gravitational force. The force is so great that the star is in danger of collapsing in on itself. Luckily, the fusion provides the energy the stars to push back against the collapsing core. The core of a newly formed star, as when a young star runs out of hydrogen, its core will once again begin to collapse. The extreme forces in the core causes it to heat up. Soon the core is hot enough that it can begin to fuse helium into carbon and oxygen. Once again, nuclear fusion pushes back against gravity to prevent the star from collapsing. One by one, the star fuses each new element. This successfully produces elements with low atomic masses like carbon, oxygen, and neon. Depending on their size, stars can create elements through fusion up to iron, which has an atomic number of 26. However, stars' lives and dies depends on how large it is. The smallest stars, brown dwarf star, are too large to be considered planets but too small to be considered stars. The small, slow-burning red dwarf star have very long lives. Their lives last between 1 and 10 trillion years. Scientists believe that when red dwarf stars eventually collapse, they will become white dwarf stars. Very large stars first became blue supergiant stars before dying in a dramatic fashion. In fact, they create the biggest explosions in the universe when they collapse. And there are many more stars like this. No matter how the star dies, its life cycle can transform the universe. Without stars, the universe would contain nothing but clouds of hydrogen and helium. It is life and death of stars that are responsible for the element that makes up everything you see on Earth. Thank you.
Greetings. This is our chart for the Chandrayaan 3 topic. For
Greetings,
introduction,
fellow students, faculty, and judges.
GSLV
We are from
stands
Coral
for
House, and our
Polar
project is
Satellite
based on
Launch
designing
Vehicle,
spacesuits
while
differently.
GSLV stands for Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle. So, what went wrong with Chandrayaan 2? Chandrayaan 2 was ISRO's maiden attempt at achieving soft landing
Current
on the
spacesuit
lunar
technologies
surface.
get rid of
But the
excessive
mission
body
failed
heat
when
and
the
bodily
organization
fluids.
lost contact
They also
with the
provide
lander
the astronaut with
400 meters
oxygen,
before the landing.
comms, and also
A
protection
last-minute
from
software
space
glitch led
dangers.
to the failure of the mission. Lander crashed on the moon's surface after its guidance software went kaput, according to an internal report presented to
We
the
have
Space
researched
Commission.
on various
Had it
materials
gone
and
right,
have come up with
India would have
effective
become the
solutions
fourth
to
country
face the
carry out
problems
a
of space.
successful landing on the
Kevlar is
lunar
used in
surface.
suits to protect from
Chandrayaan 3 is the
micrometeorites,
23rd
and
lunar exploration
magnetosphere
mission
takes care
by the
of the
Indian
radiation.
Space Research Organization. Chandrayaan 3's payload will be similar to Chandrayaan 2.
We found that we
It
could
will
use
also
graphene
have a
instead of
lander rover
Kevlar
like its
and
previous
zinc-coated
iteration.
synthetic fibers to
Changes
protect
will be
astronauts
made
from
to the
radiation
sequence
on
of
future
powered
Mars
descent,
missions.
during which a velocity loss had caused the Chandrayaan 2's lander rover to crash.
In conclusion, we would like to say that our methods
This is
perform
our
better
chart
in
for the
space and
Chandrayaan
we
3
might
topic.
see them being utilized in
For
the near
introduction,
future. We'd like to thank our
GSLV
teachers and parents
stands
for this
for
amazing
Polar
opportunity
Satellite
to build
Launch
this
Vehicle,
wonderful project.
while GSLV stands for Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle. So, what went wrong with Chandrayaan 2? Chandrayaan 2 was ISRO's maiden attempt at achieving soft landing on the lunar surface, but the mission failed when the organization lost contact with the lander 400 meters before the landing. A last-minute software glitch led to the failure of the mission. Lander crashed on the moon's surface after its guidance software went kaput, according to an internal report presented to the Space Commission. Had it gone right, India would have become the fourth country to carry out a successful landing on the lunar surface. Chandrayaan 3 is a planned third lunar exploration mission by the Indian Space Research Organization.
Chandrayaan 2 was a great achievement for India and mankind as it made history as first mission in the world which was projected on the southern pole of the moon. It was a very challenging mission for India as this region always remains in darkness and temperature is extremely cold. In this mission, orbiter was successful in its mission to reach the moon's orbit, but unfortunately communication was lost prior to landing at 2.1 km above lunar surface. And the lander, which causes the lander did not perform well and it crashed along the Pragyan rover and other scientific equipment. The communication issue encountered during the rough braking of landing phased out at 2023 UTC on 6 September 2019. Subsequent attempt to re-establish the communication from the lander remains unsuccessful. It consists of orbiter and lander, and the orbiter is housed here. Third stage powered by the cryogenic engine. Second stage with the two Vikas engines, and the first stage with two strap-on rocket boosters.
A space station is a spacecraft capable of supporting a human crew in orbit for an extended period of time, and is therefore a type of space habitat. The International Space Station is a large spacecraft in the orbit around the Earth. It serves as a home where crews of astronauts and cosmonauts live. NASA is using the space station to learn more about living and working in space. In addition to the laboratories where astronauts conduct their science research, the space station has many other parts. The first Russian modules included basic systems needed for the space station to function. They also provided living areas for the crew members. On the truss are radiators that control the space station's temperature. Robotic arms are mounted outside the space station. The robot arms were also used to build the space station. Those arms can move astronauts around when they go on spacewalks outside. Other arms operate science experiments. Astronauts can go on spacewalks through airlocks, an airtight room with two entrances that allows an astronaut to go on a spacewalk that open on the outside. The first piece of International Space Station was launched in November 1988. More pieces were added over the next 2 years. Before the space station was ready for people to live there, the first crew arrived on November 2, 2000. People have lived on the space station ever since. More pieces have been added over time. Recently, the Union Minister for Space Jitendra Singh announced in the Parliament of India India's first space station would be set up by 2030.
Hello, my name is Ishita, and our group consists of myself, Ishita Patil, Shalvi Kasture, and Ira Basale. Our topic here is humans versus technology and more. In this topic, we have considered few fields related to space in which technology has played a huge role. Technology has helped us send rovers to Mars and Moon. Along with that, technology is also helping us plan and execute manned missions to Mars. SpaceX and NASA are the two main organizations with manned missions to Mars in mind. Now, as you can imagine, with such critical missions, there must have been some problems and failures. And there have been. But fortunately, our scientists considered them as stepping stones and learned from those mistakes and experiences. Now, apart from that, technology is also helping us discover more and more about the universe. Like, it is helping us look for moon water to be used as a rocket fuel. And currently, quite a few companies are interested in it. So let's hope they find it soon. That was all from my side. Now, Ira will tell us more information about our topic.
I'm Shalvi Kasturi, and today I'm going to be talking about a rover which can move on the surfaces of Moon and Mars. It has been a long wait for humanity to finally go to Mars, and probably in this decade this wish shall be fulfilled. SpaceX and NASA have been working together, working separately to achieve this goal. Here is my prototype of a manned rover which can go to Mars. However, some technical anomalies can occur. So now Ira will tell you about some Moon rovers and Mars rovers which are currently on Mars and Moon respectively, and some technical malfunctions which can occur.
Hello, good morning.
I will be sharing some interesting facts about the Mars rover, Moon rover, and what would happen if technology in space malfunctions. Mars rovers can travel on the surface of the red planet Mars. These rovers help scientists research about the different components and parts of Mars. Each rock on Mars is made up of a different mixture of various chemicals. Rovers can drive to different places on the surface of Mars. There are currently 5 rovers on Mars. Moon rovers. Moon rovers are also called as lunar rovers. The lunar rover called Apollo was electrically powered, which was designed for operation in low gravity vacuum of the moon. There are currently 4 rovers on the moon, which are Lunokhod 1, Lunokhod 2, Apollo and U2. Unfortunately, none of them are in running capacity.
Hi, my name is Rashi and my topic is why did the Mangalyaan did not land successfully. The Mars Orbiter mission MOM, also called the Mangalyaan, it was launched on 5th November 2013 by the Indian Space Research Organization. It is India's first interplanetary mission and made it fourth space agency to achieve Mars orbiter after it made India the first nation to research Martian orbit and first nation in the world to do so on its medium attempt. Subhai Aruna invented the Mars orbiter. He was born in Tiruvantal, Tamil Nadu, and completed his mechanical engineering from Coimbatore Institute of Technology. He was the director of Mars orbiter mission and started his career from Vikram Sarabhara. The Mangalyaan was 98% successfully and 2% not successful. Thank you.
This is Twisha and I am from Coral House. I have made a model of the Mangalyaan. This is the solar panel. These two are the antennas. This is the tank. The thing behind is the reflector. And this is the Menka.
Good morning and a warm welcome to our teachers and friends. Today, I and Harshit from students of class from 8D have conducted a science project. We would like to thank our teacher, Mrs. Nidhi ma'am, and also our principal to give us this golden opportunity to do this wonderful project. Due to this project, we came to do a lot of research and know a lot about space. We would also like to thank our parents and our brothers and sisters who helped us a lot.
The aim in this project is that the philosophy that we have taken in this project can be used to see in the past. This ideology is also being used by many scientists to see the events that had occurred in the past, like the Big Bang, by making even stronger telescopes than the James Webb.
The objective of this project is to prove that nobody on Earth can tell whether a star has died or not.
Before I start, I would like to ask you some questions. Do you all love gazing at the night sky filled with stars? Do you ever wonder why the night sky is eternal and never changing? or why the stars never move or vanish? This is because the stars that we see today are not of the present date, but are of the past. And this is what you will come to know in this project. Here in this topic, a question arises that how can we see a star that is dead? It won't be visible. Scientifically, this is wrong. For example, if we take the closest star from Earth, that is the Sun, its rays take approximately 9 minutes to reach Earth. So, if the Sun goes into blackout, then for 9 minutes, the Earth will be in brightness till the last ray of Sun reaches Earth. And after those 9 minutes, the Earth will be covered in darkness.
Now, if we take this into consideration on a large scale, like a star Vega 25.04 light years away from Earth, the rays of the star Vega will take 25 years to reach Earth. Its rays, in these 25 years, the star could have changed its position or maybe even died, but you will still be able to see the star on the same spot for 25 years.
So by this project, we conclude that it is impossible for any person to guess or to prove that a star which we see in the sky is dead or alive.
Hello friends and teacher, I am Ojas Arjun and I will talk about flame test. What is a flame test? It is a method used by chemists to identify the presence of group 1 metal ions in the compound. It is done by heating the compound. This activity is fun to do because of the colorful flames which make it exciting to perform. We'll look at the procedure now. First, make a tiny loop at one end of a platinum wire and ensure it is cleaned with hydrochloric acid until the wire imparts no color to the flame. Then put 2 to 3 drops of concentrated hydrochloric acid on a clean watch glass and make a paste by adding a small quantity of the salt in it. Next, dip the loop of the platinum wire in this paste and introduce the loop to the flame. Finally, observe the color of the flame.
Hello everybody, I am Riya Karandikar from 8th A. Today I am going to share an interesting topic with you. Title of my project is Which Animal Survives in Space? You will be surprised to know that an animal can survive in space. That animal is tardigrade. Let's know more about tardigrade. In 2007, scientists discovered that tardigrades can survive in an extended stay in the extreme temperature conditions. Tardigrades are microscopic 8-legged animals that have been to outer space. They look like miniature bears. They are found around the world from the deepest areas of the ocean to the mountain peaks. Tardigrades have metabolized to protect against the damages to DNA due to radiation desiccation. This will be useful to protect humans to withstand extreme stresses under space conditions for the future long-term exploration of our solar system, including Mars. Research on tardigrades is going on worldwide. I hope you found my project interesting and informative. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Mehul Chaudhary. Today I will be talking about the tardigrade, sometimes known as the water bear. The water bear is barely microscopic and lives in water. In the absence of water, it survives through anhydrobiosis. In anhydrobiosis, it curls up into a ball called tun state. In the tun state, the water bear's metabolism is slow to 0.01%. It can also survive the absence of oxygen through anoxybiosis. It can also survive high temperatures and changes in osmotic pressure. If we can figure out how to apply these abilities of the water bear to humans, it will be a huge leap for space exploration and the settlement of humans on Mars. Thank you.
Good morning friends and teachers.
I'm Patloda from 8C, and today I'm going to talk about stars and how they produce light. Stars produce heat energy and light due to the fusion of hydrogen. They shine because they are extremely hot. The source of their energy is nuclear reactions going on deep inside the stars. Even the sun is a kind of a star, but it seems bigger and brighter to us because it is closer to us. Many of the stars are 100 times bigger than the sun, but we can't see them or appear very small to us because they are too far away from us. Thank you.
Has developed a new space toilet worth $23 million made out of titanium. This new age toilet is known as the Universal Waste Management System, is much lighter and smaller. ISSS Zero Gravity Environment toilets use airflow to pull urine and feces into proper receptacle. On the UWMS, the airflow begins as soon as the lid. Shaurya will explain you the model of the space toilet. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Shaurya More and I have made this NASA toilet model. So first starting with, this is the seat and the first part which you can see is the germs killing filter, and the down is the storage waste container. Here which you can see is the urine suction hose, and these two are the urine storage tank. And these are the pipes which are connected. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Tanishka and today I will be telling you about constellations. A constellation is a group of stars which make up an imaginary outline of pattern in the night sky or the celestial sphere. Usually, they are said to represent an animal, a mythological person, or a creature of the planet. There are 88 official constellations. Hydra is the largest of them all. There are 12 constellations in the zodiac family. These are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Pisces, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Sagittarius, Libra, Scorpio, Aquarius, and a Capricorn. These are all from the zodiac family. On this side, we have the other constellations that are not included in the zodiac family. This one is an Orion, and Orion was named after a hunter in Greek mythology. This represents a hunter holding a bow and arrow and is about to shoot. Next up, we have an Ursa Major. An Ursa Major means the great bear in Latin. The smaller bear is represented by Ursa Minor. I hope you liked my video.
how we can use hydroponics in space. Sumit will explain you the further.
This model is built on the basis of hydroponics. In this model, we can use it in space and any other celestial bodies. This model is used to do farming on any other celestial body and grow vegetables over there for living. And secondly, this can be used when any astronaut lands on the Mars or any other celestial body. He can go inside in this greenhouse and release his carbon dioxide and get oxygen to live. Thank you. Now Ishan will tell you more about the model.
So we made this model from cardboard, and this is the tank or the water where we keep it. So there is a pump attached here, and which pumps the water through this pipe to the like the greenhouse. So we have kept the pipe inside the soil and some air ventilation inside the soil and above also. So this will help the plant to grow. And then the water, when its excess water comes back through this pipe, so this will be like water saving also. And we have made these panels so that we can save it from the radiations on Mars and other planets.
Space farming refers to the cultivation that is done on other planets, and the cultivation that is done over here is very similar to the cultivation or equivalent to the cultivation that is or agriculture that is done on Moon or Mars. This cultivation can be done on structures that are made like greenhouses, so that we can use inorganic material to supply it with soil and other materials necessary for the growth of the plants. Also, we can use many other things like oxygen, carbon dioxide and in correct orders, so that these plants grow neatly and steadily. For plants are also dissolved in water to help them grow efficiently, and the cultivation that is done over here is very similar to the cultivation or equivalent to the cultivation that is or agriculture that is done on Moon or Mars. This cultivation can be done on structures that are made like greenhouses, so that we can use inorganic material to supply it with soil and other materials necessary for the growth of the plants. Also, we can use many other things like oxygen, carbon dioxide and in correct orders, so that these plants grow neatly and steadily. For plants are also dissolved in water to help them grow efficiently and nicely.
Thank you.
What is ISS? The International Space Station is a large spacecraft that orbits around the Earth. The International Space Station is also a science lab, and many countries have worked upon it to build this. The ISS is approximately 250 miles above the Earth. Now over to Nina, who will tell you about the history and timeline of ISS.
And timeline of the International Space Station. The International Space Station took more than 10 years and more than 30 missions to assemble. This was a collaboration among 5 space agencies representing 15 countries. Building of the International Space Station. The ISS consists of Canada, Japan, the Russian Federation, United States and 11 member states of the European Space Agency.
How big is the ISS? The International Space Station is like a 5 BHK house where 6 to 7 people can live easily. The International Space Station is as big as to cover a football field and weighs 1 million pounds. The ISS has science labs from United States, Russia, Japan and Europe. Now over to Yubika, who will tell you about the parts of ISS.
This is a small-scale model of the International Space Station. The International Space Station consists of 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a huge gymnastics hall, and also laboratories for conducting experiments. The main modules consisting here, and here help to run all the different functions needed for the space station to stay in space, and also the different functions that astronauts need to live normally. The solar arrays over here and here help take solar energy and convert it into electrical energy, which can be used by the entire space station. The HRS radiators here are the heat rejection subsystem radiators, which help cool the space station and release all of the heat energy in the form of infrared radiations. The laboratories located over here are used to conduct different experiments in space and belong to countries such as Russia, Japan, the US, and other countries in Europe.
What are the experiments done in the ISS? In its 20 years of existence, many amazing scientific experiments have been done on the ISS. For example, the flame extinguisher experiment, where an astronaut tried to burn a droplet of heptane in outer space. It burned without a flame and at a temperature 2.5 times cooler than a candle. And another amazing scientific breakthrough was that space can change the genetics of a human. This was proved when 1 out of 2 identical twins was sent into outer space for a year. A few changes were noticed were the shifted gene expression in the space-bound twin. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I am Madhura Chincholkar and this is my science project on Mars and the Perseverance rover. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun and it is also known as the red planet. Mars is known as the red planet because of the large amounts of iron oxide present in its soil. Mars closely resembles the Earth, due to which there exist chances of existence of life on Mars. As a result, a number of efforts have been made by numerous countries to explore Mars. About a year ago, NASA was successful in landing its Perseverance rover on Mars. This rover is loaded with scientific instruments and cameras which will help us to analyze the chemical composition of the soil and atmosphere of Mars. Along with it, NASA was also successful in landing its Ingenuity coaxial helicopter on Mars. This helicopter became the first helicopter to fly in the atmosphere of another planet. This mission awaits the whole world with excitement to see what new discoveries are made. My takeaways from this project are: this project helped me to gain a lot of knowledge about the planet Mars. It also greatly helped me to understand about the Perseverance rover. This project has kindled my interest in topics related to space exploration. Thank you.
Pollution is now a commonplace term that our ears are attuned to. We hear about the various forms of pollution every day and read about it through the mass media. Air pollution is one such form that refers to the contamination of the air irrespective of indoors or outdoors. A physical, biological, or chemical alteration in the air in the atmosphere can be termed as pollution. It occurs when any harmful gas, smoke, enters into the atmosphere and makes it difficult for plants, animals, and humans to survive as the air becomes dirty. Researchers at Duke University have developed a method that uses machine learning, satellite imagery, and weather data to autonomously find hotspots of heavy air pollution city block by city block. Before now, researchers trying to measure the distribution of air pollutants throughout a city would either try to use the limited number of existing monitors or drive sensors around the city, said Mike Byrne, professor of civil and environmental engineering at Duke. But setting up sensor networks is time consuming and costly, and the only
Hello everyone,
is Tanu Sahu. I'm from 8D and this is my poster on the Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory is how scientists explain how the universe began. It started with a small point that was so small and it got extremely dense and hot that it started to inflate. This is the moment that time, space, matter and energy were all formed. Since then, galaxies, stars, moons, asteroids and planets and every celestial object that we know today was formed. It's always interesting to think that without the Big Bang, you or me wouldn't be here today. Thank you.
The James Webb Telescope is a time machine that has been in development for over 20 years. Imagine you're 65 million light years away from the Earth somewhere in the Virgo cluster. And you have a very powerful telescope that you can use to study the Earth. Taking a look through the telescope, you'll be able to see what dinosaurs looked like on Earth. The James Webb Telescope does exactly that. It is 100 times more powerful than the Hubble telescope. Just look at the comparison of sizes of their primary mirrors. And yet, the James Webb's mirror is 113 kilograms, 249 pounds lighter. The telescope works in the infrared spectrum. The infrared radiation can penetrate the dust cloud and allow us to see the stars. Forming within, additionally, Einstein's theory of relativity states that the space between objects in the universe expands and so does the light. As the light from the first stars in the galaxies travels in our direction, its waves lengthen and the light becomes infrared, also known as redshift. The James Webb Telescope is assisted by a huge mirror. It is made with 18 hexagonal segments, each 1.32 meters, 4.3 feet in diameter.
A solid object, such as an airplane wing. It involves topics covered in the field of fluid dynamics and its subfield of gas dynamics. It is synonymously used with the word gas dynamics, the difference being that gas dynamics is the study of the motion of all the gases and is not limited to air.
During the flight of a model rocket, small gusts of wind or thrust instabilities can cause the rocket to wobble or change its altitude. This can lead to a change in the path or trajectory of the rocket, thus causing a multi-million project to fail. To prevent this, we have performed an experiment down below.
A rocket has four major components: the nose cone, the recovery banding or the parachute, the engine and the fins. We did an experiment where we found out the Cp, which is the center of pressure, and the Cg, which is the center of gravity of the model rocket that we created. And we tied a piece of string around the center of pressure and swung it around like a lasso in an open field. The center of pressure, or the Cp, is the point that determines the amount of force between the 2 points on the model rocket, which are the fins and the nose cone. If the rocket flies stable, then it will fly in an horizontal manner with the nose first. And if the rocket flies unstable, then it will either fly vertically or backwards, which is the engine first. This experiment helps us to pinpoint and understand the center of pressure in any model rocket. Thank you.
Data and research. During the experiment, we also found out that if we take a PVC pipe without any add-ons and tie a string to its CP and swung it around it, it will fly horizontally. We also found out that CP and the CG with a software called Open Rocket and made it model rocket with the help of it. Since we conclude that rockets with larger diameter have more drag because there is more air being pushed out of the way. Drag depends on cross-sectional area of the object pushing through the air. Making a rocket as narrow as possible is the best way to reduce drag.
Start. The fins of the rocket help it stay in the direction it was launched in. When flying in the air, changes can make the rocket wobble. When wobbling too much, the rocket can go off course. To prevent this from happening, we need the right size, shape and amount of fins for the rocket.
The result of this project is quite interesting. We found out that adding fins to a rocket is quite important for a stable flight. By adding fins, there is a stable force created. And even if the rocket wobbles a bit, there is an angle of attack created that either adds a force of lift, or if the angle of attack is negative, it creates a downforce or drag that stabilizes the rocket. We also found out that the center of pressure has to be behind of the center of gravity, or else the rocket will fly unstably. Hence, we conclude that rockets with larger diameter have more drag because there is more air being pushed out of the way. Drag depends on the cross-sectional area of the object pushing through the air. Making the rocket as narrow as possible is the best way to reduce the drag.
Hello, I am Nikunj Kasar and my topic is artificial gravity. We all think it would be so fun in no gravity. If we will jump, we would reach the ceiling. And also, if there was no gravity, we could swim in air. But that's not the truth, because microgravity is a big problem for astronauts. In no gravity, face and mucous membrane swells. Fluids are unable to reach the lower part of the body easily. Also, there is a congested nose, muscles and bones weaken, bone mass decreases, and also the inner ear stops working. And there are some eye problems too. And due to no gravity, we can't stand easily, nor sit, or sleep. Therefore, gravity is very important. So let's dive deeper into the problem. And what is artificial gravity? We need gravity for space travel and space settlements, which means we need to make gravity. This human-made gravity is called artificial gravity. There are two ways to create it. The first way is by spinning a spacecraft. A spinning creates centrifugal force, which causes a pulling like gravity in the opposite direction from where the spacecraft is spinning. The second is by accelerating in a straight line. For example, if we accelerate a car, we get pushed on the backrest. Similarly, a spacecraft is accelerated at 9.8 meters per second. Artificial gravity would be created towards the back of the rocket. Of course, the first one is convenient because we can't keep a spacecraft continuously moving in such great speed. You can scan these QR codes for extra information about artificial gravity and hypothesis. This one is Wikipedia and this one is research paper 1, this one is research paper 2. Now let's move towards the problem. One of the main problems is that the cost to make it will be very high and might need almost all the aluminium present and being used. Also, everyone might have to contribute $10 million, which is 75 crore rupees, to make such a space station. And if this mission fails or doesn't work properly, it would be a huge loss. Therefore, we need a design which is not like spinning wheel, but something cheaper, smaller and efficient. According to the needs, there can be a design where two small rockets will be spinning like a windmill. Now let's finally move towards the last problem and the conclusion. This artificial gravity spacecraft can be used due to its less cost and efficient performance.
This model will also solve the health problems. Although some scientists and doctors say that this motion of rotation might cause hearing problem and nausea, but the others say it won't be problem in space because there is no air. Even if it is a problem, the astronauts will get used to it after some time, just like seasickness. We get used to it after some time. Therefore, this model is a very good solution for most of the problems in microgravity. Lastly, I would like to tell you what I learned because of this wonderful opportunity. You can read it here. I learned how to find a good topic, how to research on it, how to solve problems that come while making the solution, how to present my information, and how to create a project board. Also to make a entertaining and informational video like this. And lastly, speaking skills.
Hello friends and teachers, I am Nishika Khunsara from 8th D. I have made a poster on International Space Station, that is the ISS. What is the ISS? So the ISS is a large spaceship in the orbit around the Earth. Why is the space station important? So it is important because it enables the astronauts to conduct their research which they cannot conduct elsewhere. What are the benefits of space station? So there are many benefits of space station. A few of them are protecting our planet and our environment, improving our day-to-day lives, and enhancing safety on the Earth. How big is the space station? So the space station has the volume of 5 bedroom houses or equivalent to 2 Boeing 747 jetliners. Who owns the space station? So it is a cooperative program between Europe, the United States, Russia, Canada and Japan. What are the parts of the space station? So there are many parts of the space station and one of them is the robotic arm which enables the astronauts to take spacewalks. And most importantly, at the end of October 2020, 240 people from different 19 countries visited the International Space Station and more than 2,800 experiments were conducted in space. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Arnavi and today I'm going to tell about the life in the solar system. People have long speculated about the possibility of life in settings other than the Earth. The likelihood that life throughout the universe is probably carbon-based is suggested by the fact that carbon is one of the most abundant of the higher elements. Only 2 of the natural atoms, carbon and silicon, are known as to serve the backbones of molecules sufficiently large to carry biological information. 4 most likely candidates for life in the solar systems are the planet Mars, the Jovian moon Europa, and Saturn's moon Titan and Enceladus, because they may have underground liquid water. Water on Mars is found frozen in its polar ice caps, and newly carved gullies recently observed on Mars suggest that liquid water may exist on the planet's surface. Titan has been described as having conditions similar to Earth. On its surface, scientists have discovered the first liquid lakes outside Earth, but these lakes seem to be composed of ethane or methane, not water. Some scientists think that it is possible that these liquid hydrocarbons might take the place of water in living cells different from those on Earth. Thank you.
Hello, I am Rohit and I'm going to talk about what alien life would actually look like. Recent astronomical discoveries suggest that there are billions of Earth-like planets dotted throughout our galaxy. Scientists estimate that 1 in 4 stars have a planet like Earth with the same size and temperature. Life can be assumed to be widespread based on 2 facts. Firstly, the chemical elements of life, such as nitrogen, hydrogen, and oxygen, are widespread in the universe, as are liquid water and organic carbon, the two key compounds of life on Earth. Secondly, life on Earth was present from very early stages in its history, which suggests that when the conditions are right, life can spring up quickly and easily. On any other planet, the laws of physics and chemistry will still be the same as Earth. There are only a limited number of ways to beat physics. This means we can make educated guesses on what such life would actually look like. However, any life would be expected to follow the broad principles of ecology, a source of energy and competition for it, leading to similar ecological roles such as predators and prey. Beyond that, it's anyone's guess. No one can really say that alien life would look similar to Earth life or even begin to know what it would really look like. The best way to find out is to go look.
What an insightful experience put together by a young scientist. We here at V.K. Patil Memorial School, Pune believe in sowing the seed of invention for a better future of our world.
Borrowing the words of Marie Curie, nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. On this special occasion of National Science Day, I, Parth Tekar, feel privileged to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of all the students of V.K. Patil Memorial School, Pune. Our sincere gratitude to the management and our principal Minalini ma'am for ensuring that we, the young budding scientists, continue to ignite the fire of learning within us, providing us with a safe platform to showcase our scientific knowledge through this exhibition, ensuring that all the protocols of the new normal are practiced. I would also like to applaud all my peers for having put in their sheer efforts in creating such astounding exhibits. Sincere thanks to all the parents for having taken time out and to view the spectacular exhibits. Last but not least, a big thanks to everyone who has worked towards making this special celebration possible.